What is going on, my off the bench fans? We are back with another episode. It's the Saturday edition of Off the Bench with Scotty and Corey. I am your co-host, Corey. That is your co-host, Scotty. And I almost called myself Scotty again. How you doing, partner?
I'm good. I'm good, brother. Look, there are worse things to call yourself. If I'm not being conceited, okay, I'm being a little conceited, y'all. But I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you doing today?
Brother, as always, it is a great day to be a football fan. And it's a great day every day. Uh, but let's get the ball rolling here. First
Let's
things
do it.
first, Fernando Mendoza. He is in the Raiders building for his top 30 visit, and it is his only scheduled visit. Look, man, unless something miraculous happens, this will probably be the last time we cover Fernando Mendoza. He's going first overall. Um, if we after the draft, if he doesn't go first overall, we're going to talk a lot about him. But everyone knows that he's going first, and if he doesn't, I actually would gander to say that if he doesn't go first overall, it would change the draft drastically. Um, because I feel like the Cardinals would probably be the ones to grab him then. It would just shift everything. But it's almost no doubt in my mind at where he's going. So,
Yeah, I
the,
think us and everyone else,
yeah,
most people believe that the only reason that he's only taken one top 30 visit, and the only reason that it is the Raiders, is because they are probably already in his ear with his agent or in his camp and being like, you're the pick. You're the pick. We went out and got you a veteran quarterback who's been there, done that. You're the guy.
yeah, absolutely. And again, no one in the world and any mock draft has ever had the Raiders pick anyone else. So, no, I'm sure there's somebody. I'm just spitballing, but he is by most professional sports analysts going number one, if not all professional sports analysts. Um, but anyway, like I said, we're gonna move on from him. We know where he's going, know what he's doing. Kyle Pitts, he got franchise tag like a few days ago, landing in at $15.045 million. That is a heck of a number to franchise tag someone. Now, here's my thing: do you franchise tag because you don't have the money, or do you what's the word? Or do you do it to give yourself extra time? What would be the good reason to franchise tag someone?
So, a lot of the reason that a lot of NFL teams use the franchise tag the way that they do is because they want retention of that player. And by the time your franchise tender is due, sometimes you don't have a contract in place for a long term deal. They're like, this is what the league understands your value to be. I know that you think it's higher than this, and I know that we think it's higher than this. We haven't come to an agreement on a number yet. So you take the franchise tag, it gives us more time to get you into a deal, and it gives us more time to figure out how to build around you because we want you here long term. So a lot of the you are 100% correct on. A lot of people use that in the front offices of the NFL as a catalyst to give themselves more time to get a good deal done with that particular player.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I know. I know. Again, I talk about this a lot. You all, I play Madden, NCAA, and the franchise tags for me typically they will come for if I want to keep him, but don't want to have to pay right now. Kind of want to wait till next season where I have more money maybe. Um, but yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from. So, but moving on from Kyle Pitts, we have Jack Jones signed with the 49ers. It is just a 1 year deal, no specifics there, but great pickup straight from the Dolphins. I think that he's going to be an excellent addition to the 49ers personally, but other than that, um, we have a retirement. Caleb McGarry, buddy, enjoy your retirement. Thank you for your time here in the NFL as a guard. Um, I believe he retired from the Falcons, so we appreciate it. Again, enjoy your retirement. And speaking of retirement and being tired, buddy, I get tired all the time.
Me too.
This morning, as you know, running late. Had to stay up late last night, helped the old lady out, and I'm dragging. And for those of you watching, you can see I'm drinking an Aspire Energy. Now, you might be wondering, well, why Aspire and not the other competitors? Don't they have more caffeine? Yes, they do. But they don't have longer sustaining caffeine, which means that basically this is going to keep me energized longer than their 160 to 200 milligram caffeine will. It has sustained energy. It's keto friendly. It's got zero sugar, zero calories, so therefore it is diabetes friendly as well. Zero carbs. Um, it's gluten free and all the other frees. Soy free, kosher, whatever else. Um, it is really good. Again, this is my. If you can look right back here. Again, if you're watching, I have a fridge full behind me of. Full. I'm running out again. There's about 7 in there left, and it's my second box. I love it. Again, 80 milligrams of natural caffeine from guarana and green tea. It's healthy and it tastes great. It really does. The only flavor I do not like, and that's because it's personal preference. It's not that it's bad. I'm not a mango guy. This row right here, if you're watching, it's mango lemonade. I'm not a mango guy again, but I will drink that. That will be gone. Um, Again, just a personal preference thing. It's nothing against them at all, but I'm just not a mango guy. I'm sure if you like mango, you will love it. I don't, so therefore I don't. But yeah, I again, great stuff. I really do like it. It keeps me energized all day. I don't crash. I don't have jitters. I just go throughout my day as normal. And it's roughly the same amount of same fluid ounces your competitors. This is 12 fluid ounces, and they have a ton of flavors, a ton of flavors. So if you guys want to get some after hearing me rant about it, go to aspiredrinks.com /discount /OTB25 and get yourself some. Again, it's really good. I genuinely enjoy it. I'm not just saying that because they help us keep the podcast running. It really is good. Um, so again, that's aspiredrinks.com /discount OTB25 and you can get your own. So, partner, we talked about this one a little bit. Um, I'm gonna leapfrog a little bit because this one sounds you're kind of excited about this one. Partner, why don't you take us what's going on in Dallas?
So, excitement may not be the word. You don't ever want to see a guy get in trouble. However, newsworthy 100% about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so before we started the show, I look at my phone and there is a notification from ESPN. The Dallas Cowboys safety Marquise Bell was arrested on drug charges. Allegedly, he had some things in his possession. He was arrested with controlled substance, which is a felony, and marijuana, which is a misdemeanor in the state of Texas. There's not anything more than that we have outside of the Dallas Cowboys are aware of his arrest, and they will be doing their own investigation into it. During which, speaking on it without legal process being taken, there's not much that we can really speak on, but it is very interesting to have something like this happen, especially around the time of the draft. Partner, what do you think about this situation? And if you were an NFL GM, how would you handle this in the coming weeks?
So I'm gonna speak strictly on honesty, no bias whatsoever. As you guys know, again, I rep the burgundy and gold, but I'm speaking strictly as just someone being honest without any biases. If I was an NFL GM, I'd cut ties. Just because of my life experiences and what just happened? You still got me? What the
Yeah,
fuck? What was that?
yeah, you're good.
Why'd you do that? Anyhow, so the my thing would be just cut ties with them, especially with my life and the way that it's gone. Drugs are a big no, especially as an NFL uh, cornerback, as an NFL player, period, who's making millions of dollars. While, like you and I said, we're out here busting our butts to put food on the table, to pay the bills. You know what I mean? Where this guy can go out and blow thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and not have to worry about a thing. Um, to me, it's reckless, it's careless, and there's no place for it in the NFL. And I don't know, man. It's just there's a saying that if you do the crime, you do the time, and I say make him do the time. Now, if he comes out of if he does go to jail, which a felony typically does, then if he comes out with a new attitude, you know, Michael Vick had the same thing. He did something really, really, really bad, and he got a second chance. And I believe in second chances. If you come out and you show you're going to do better, absolutely. You deserve the second chance that you get, but not if you come out and if you're not, what is the word? Um, if you don't feel bad basically for what you did. If he's just going to go back and do the same thing. No.
Very nice, very nice. For me, this is the big thing: understanding due process of law. If he is convicted, immediately ties are cut.
Yep.
Obviously, you do your own private investigation. If you are the Dallas Cowboys, you have the funds and resources to do such a thing, so you definitely do that. However, he is in the United States of America presumed innocent until proven guilty. So
Yep.
we cannot say whether or not there will be a conviction, if there will even be a trial. We do not know.
Right.
However, there are definitely pending charges given what we have learned today from ESPN.
Yes. And
And for me,
basically what I everything that I said is all based on if he is convicted, or if he is uh, proven guilty. So if he's not proven guilty, then you don't do anything. You go back, wipe it clean, nothing happened. That's actually my biggest thing with players is we see a lot of we'll call them allegations, so we don't have to get into it too much, but it ruins lives. And not only in football but in life too. But anyhow, I think that if you are an organization and someone is proven not guilty, then they're fine. Because I mean, the court's not going to screw it up. That's not true. But uh, I don't know, man. I just feel like if he comes out and he's proven not guilty, then you continue on the off season like you would have. Unfortunately, he misses some playing time, practicing time, whatever you call it. Um, but I think the charges he has is going to be hard to be proven not guilty unless it was just circumstance and he was in the passenger seat and he or whatever the case was, and he was just there. If you go over to someone's house and it gets busted, and I was just there. I wasn't actually. It's not my house. Or if you're riding in the car, I didn't know. then that's the kind of instance. But if it's your car and it's in your car, unless it's on someone else, or if it's your house, then. But again, all of everything I said was based on the fact that he was proven guilty for that. So, but moving on, we have.
Second before 1 second before we move on, I want to, as in your hypothetical NFL GM experience, would you suspend a player for having a run in with the law, given the nature of the crime? Because for me, having a run in with such an instance, especially given the epidemic that is drug use in America, do you still enforce some sort of punishment for keeping the company that he may have kept? If that is in fact, if he is in fact proven innocent and everything is a perfect world and things like that, do you still be like, well, we're taking 2 games from you because that was very reckless and negligent, and there has to be some sort of discipline that comes down from it?
So, and this is obviously assuming that someone else had him and brought him around him. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
So,
If he's proven innocent, if he was a victim of circumstance,
right.
via the company that he keeps. Just a hypothetical. Just a hypothetical. I want to hear your NFL
Okay.
GM and front office thought process on this.
So no, as an NFL GM and such, no, I would not suspend him. And here's why. Um, I've been around it before personally, not hardcore stuff, but and I've never done anything. I mean, I will occasionally have a sip, a beer here and there, but I do not partake in any drugs whatsoever. Period. I don't condone them, but I do not believe that you are the sum of the company you keep. However, there would probably be a talk, definitely a sit down with them, like, hey, if this happens again, we're definitely going to suspend you, but we're giving you the benefit of the doubt right now, um, and just kind of let him know that he's on thin ice for sure. Like just because of running in the law or the run in, and just because of the nature of the crime and how serious it could have been. We're talking you're not missing just a couple games. We're talking you're missing a couple years, and you'd be lucky to ever play again. So it would be a real serious talk like, hey, if this happens ever, like any kind of run in for quite a while, you're done. We're gonna trade you. It doesn't matter. And because I mean, bad publicity isn't exactly a good thing. But but yeah, I wouldn't suspend him if he came back. No, I would, but I would have that kind of thin ice talk with him, and just tell him, hey, stop keeping that kind of company. Because again, it could be family, and he's just trying to help someone out, or whatever the case could be. Um, you know, I don't know. I have too much compassion, and maybe you suspend him as the smart move to get a little heat off your back, but not me. I wouldn't suspend him.
We like it. We like it. Now moving on. What do you got next for us, partner?
uh, I got Travis Hunter, who, as you said, the Jags traded up for him, and yet
Yes.
they are choosing not to use him as the offensive weapon. I don't know what they've seen in film. Maybe they think that he is a better cornerback than he is wide receiver. But to all my Jags fans out there who don't already know this, Travis Hunter will be taking limited snaps at the wide receiver position and playing full time at the cornerback position. Now they are going to give him, like I said, part time snaps at wide receiver, but I would not expect to see him there every single game. I think it's one of those situations where you have to have 4 wide receivers on the field. You might have him on the field for that, but he is a dual threat player. Um, And to me, I think you use him as such, or even pull him into the wide receiver room a little bit more. But again, I'm just some fan telling you what I think. They could see more than that. You know, maybe they're going after someone, a full time wide receiver, and maybe they're trying to trade for somebody. Maybe they got their eyes on someone in the draft that's almost a guarantee. Um, but I don't know, man. I personally, I mean, I like it in a sense because it's harder to get really good at one position whenever you're trying to play two. Um, we know that. I wish this computer would stop doing that. Um, what are you doing? Just randomly closing. um, but again, it's harder to get good at one position when you're trying to play two. And a lot of people have played their entire lives to be a good wide receiver, a good cornerback. So I don't know. I like the move. I think that's a good idea.
I like it. I like it. Um, for me, for me, and I'm of the same mind of Des Bryant, former Dallas Cowboys wide receiver, that he is as or more explosive on the offensive side
Hmm.
than he is the defensive side. However, I think the need for them is on the defensive side, and he has proven time and time again that he is more than capable of being a full time starter at the cornerback position.
Absolutely.
Now,
And
we
that's
talked about how much they unloaded to get him.
yep.
They they traded with the Cleveland Browns last season. They traded the fifth overall pick, the their 36th overall pick, and the 126th overall pick, as well as their first round draft pick from this year to move up and get Travis Hunter. I think that this move means a couple of things
Dang.
with moving him to cornerback. Yes, they moved up 3 spots and gave up 2 firsts, a second, and a fourth.
Wow.
So the haul was there. Um, but this to me means, and some of the fallout from that, that should really, not that there was ever any rumors with steam behind them for wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr., but that should really put the rest of the naysayers to bed that Brian Thomas Jr. was ever going to be available as the best wide receiver in Jacksonville. This also makes a very open statement that Jacksonville is going to be investing in offense, where they are already pretty invested. I like this move a lot. I had to sleep on it to like it because, like I said, I was of the same mind as Dez Bryant, and that is he is far too explosive as wide receiver, but he is equally as explosive as cornerback. And I think having the skill set that he has, it allows him to make that transition very smoothly. And I think when you do see him on offense, he will be a decoy.
Gotcha. So basically, someone not really in the play, but someone to garner some backs to guard him.
Absolutely, absolutely. If he's because he's fast. He's fast. He can stretch the field. Um, let's say that you have a triple. Let's say you have a trips. Let's say you have trips left, and you put Travis Hunter on the right side, and they're playing two high safeties. You can open up the entire middle of the field just by having him running a streak or a deep dig, something that pulls the safety off of the hashes and toward the sideline. If you can use him in that sort of way, then you open up the middle of the field for your tight ends, for the wide receivers, and if the safety doesn't bite, then you have one of the best wide receivers on the outside in the game, one on one with a cornerback, and you love to see that.
I
So
like
I think it also adds to how big of a weapon he can be. on offense as well. Very Deion Sanders in 2000 kind of thing.
I like it. I like it. Now, partner, you know the fans like to talk,
They do like.
and I once again gave up a little bit of misinformation. Dexter Lawrence had the most pressures out of defensive tackles, and I misspoke when I said he had more than Myles Garrett, which should have been an obvious thing for me, but here I am being the dummy that I am. Myles Garrett had 84 last season. Dexter had 34. Now, here's where I misread. The post that I had seen listed a bunch of numbers, and the top number at 108, and then towards the bottom of the numbers there was a bunch of different names. Some I don't even recognize, but we're not going to go into who was down there. The number 108 comes from since 2022, and I seen the two numbers and then got them confused because I know that Dexter Lawrence only had 34 last season. And my mind flipped the numbers and said, well, Dexter Lawrence had 108 last season and Myles Garrett had 84. And then, of course, I spew knowledge as soon as it hits my brain and I screw everything up. But listen, I'm here to set the record straight. Dexter Lawrence has the most out of defensive tackles since 2022 with 108. Myles Garrett had 84 last season. Dexter Lawrence had 34 last season. That is on me, and look, I'm just here to correct myself. So
We are
anyhow,
human, guys. We are human.
I do apologize for that one, and I thank you guys for keeping me honest once again. Um, but we are going to move on, and that's my apologetic correction. um, but moving on, we have a trade, man, and we're what 12 days from the draft. Um, I mean, we have the Eagles trading to the Packers. The Eagles receive Dontavion Wicks in the yeah, and the Packers will get a 2026 fifth round and a 2027 sixth round. Partner, do you think this affects the draft at all, or well, other than the Eagles not having a fifth round pick um, this year, or do you think that it's just kind of depth?
No, I think that it affects the draft for both the Eagles and the Packers. I think, given the loss at wide receiver that the Packers have experienced this season, I think they are tooling up to rebuild that offense for Jordan Love. I think that trading Dontavian Wicks solidifies that particular fact. I also think that it impacts the Philadelphia Eagles in that they get a good wide receiver, they get a good piece. But I also think that their wide receiver room is getting crowded, and they have one disgruntled wide receiver, and this is purely speculation, folks. And you can eat me alive if you'd like to, but I'm not the only one that said it, and I'm not going to be the only one that says it. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to trade AJ Brown.
Okay.
That's to me that makes the most sense. He's disgruntled. There's tension between his camp and the front office. I know that everybody says there's not, but the writing is on the wall. And the New England Patriots need a wide receiver with no Stephon Diggs. Romeo Dobbs can't carry that offense by himself.
Right.
And AJ Brown would add a piece that would be a perfect complement to Romeo Dobbs. So here's my prediction. Because that Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver room is getting rather full, and because they have options within their draft board, I think that the Philadelphia Eagles move on from AJ Brown this offseason, be it at the draft, be it post June 1st, whatever it may be. I feel like that his time in Philly is coming to an end.
I like it.
So
I like it.
yes, it does impact both teams on as far as the draft front goes.
I like it, man. Well, partner, we've come to the 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 series in this the series within the series, if you will, that we have come very accustomed to. That in 3 short days will be over. Ladies and gentlemen, the breakdown, division breakdowns are on their last legs, if you will. Today we do the AFC East, and Tuesday we do the NFC East, and we bid farewell to the series within the series. Now, I know you and I had talked, and there's nothing set in stone yet, but I think the first 10 picks in the NFL draft we will be covering live. So, again, um, make sure you're following our YouTube page. Click the bell. That way, you guys know whenever we are live. We're going to be covering it live as soon as everything happens, as soon as it goes on. Um, and so, yeah, make sure you guys are following that. But, partner, let's get right into the AFC East breakdown. Now, the AFC East, they finished last season with the Patriots at first, the Bills second, Dolphins third, Jets fourth. No one's surprised by that at all. The Dolphins didn't do very well, and the Jets, I hate to say it, they haven't done very well for a while. Um, that was their last season standings. Now, let's see who Buffalo decided to pick up on this season. They signed Kyle Allen on a 2-year contract, and then they signed quarterback Shane Buechele on a 1-year contract. And if anyone has ever seen his name, it's Buechele. Okay, look, I don't know. I'm not a pronunciation god. Okay, but that's how I would have said it if I didn't practice before the show. um,
I love it.
and then so the
I am a
Buffalo
dollar and
Bills.
15 cents now, y'all.
So the Buffalo Bills actually decided to do a really big thing and grab one of the top wide receivers in the league. DJ Moore acquired in a trade with the Chicago Bears, along with a 2026 fifth-round pick and a 20 in exchange for a 2026 second-round selection. So basically, the Bills have a 2026 second-round pick, um, and no, yeah, and the Bears sent a fifth round and DJ Moore to the Bills. Now the Bills just got a lot stouter on that wide receiver front. They also signed a depth piece, Trent Sherfield, to a 1-year deal, and Dawson Knox re-signed. Technically, it's a signing, but he signed a new 3-year contract, and his previous deal would have ended after the 2026 season. So I guess it's technically an extension for 3 years. No money on that deal uh, that has been reported yet. And what better way to complement all of those guys from tight end all the way up to quarterback than to get the O line shirt up? They signed a 1-year deal with offensive lineman Austin Corbett. Now that is a 1-year deal. Again, no money disclosed at this time. And the same goes for center Lloyd Cushenberry. He signed a 1-year deal with no money disclosed. And then they re-signed Connor McGovern to a 4-year, $52 million deal that includes $32 million guaranteed. And what is the best complement to an offense? Obviously the defense, because the special teams is there too. But anyhow, the edge, Bradley Chubb, signed a 3-year, $43.5 million deal with $29 million guaranteed. Great pickup for that edge rush defense. They signed a 3-year deal with D. Alford, a cornerback. Also re-signed Sam Franklin, safety, and safety Chauncey Gardner Johnson, to a 1-year deal worth $6 million. They also re-signed safety Damar Hamlin and safety Geno Stone to a 1-year contract, with with Tyler Bass signing a revised 1-year contract that includes $1 million guaranteed with a maximum of $3.5 million, and punter Mitch Wishnowsky to a 1-year deal re-signing. The Buffalo Bills, I mean, they went out and got the pieces they need. I think that if you get, as we talked about earlier, if you get Josh Allen to not try to play hero ball the entire time, if you can convince him that, hey, trust these guys, they're going to be fine, and not have him play hero ball, I think this team will do just fine. There's a time and a place and a circumstance where you have to play hero ball, and I get it, but I do believe that's where most of his turnovers come from, is when he's trying to play hero ball. We've seen a couple of times last season where he's jumping to throw the ball over his lineman, or jumping to throw over the defense, and more times than not, that's picked off. So if we can get him to not play hero ball, then I think that this is one of the better years for them to make a run to the Super Bowl. And I've voiced this opinion 100 times. I think last year was the best chance the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen has ever had to go to the Super Bowl. You had no Chiefs, uh, and the teams they did play weren't the best in the world. I mean, they had I think it was the Patriots. There was also no Ravens, I think, in the playoffs last year. Um, who else was in the? There was a lot. Anyway, I think it was the easiest path for them personally to get into the playoffs. Partner, what do you think about this? Do you think that these are I mean, personally, these are great signings for them. They have went out and got what they needed when they needed it, and they got some good names in there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. They have absolutely done what you would want to do, especially given that Josh Allen is getting older. He can no longer continue even being 6'6", 240. You don't want your guy to just stand in there and get hit a bunch or have to take a bunch of unnecessary risks. So you shore up the offensive line. Connor McGovern getting similar money to Travis Achan down there in New Orleans. That's crazy. That's crazy. That shows how much teams invest in their offensive line, especially at a key position like center. Um, but three names that stick out to me on this particular list of names. That's DJ Moore. I feel like he has professionalism. He has versatility. He may be the voice that is needed to get Keon Coleman's head out of his butt. That's the hope. That is the hope. He is a consummate professional, loved everywhere he goes. I think that is top of the list as far as acquisitions. Bradley Chubb at the defensive end position or the edge rusher position, outside linebacker, however you guys want to paint it. That is also a huge get. He fills a hole left by Joey Bosa.
Yep.
That's a big hole. Now they are both guilty of the exact same thing, and that is being injury prone later on in their careers. Hopefully Bradley stays healthy, because when he is healthy, he is dynamite. And that will mean a world to this Buffalo Bills defense. And another name that I think will mean a world to this Buffalo Bills defense is CJ Gardner Johnson. This is a very underrated signing, if you ask me. He's obviously had some things going on the past couple of years, but if he can get back to playing football the way that we all know that he can, that is immediately an impact on that Buffalo Bills defense. Another name that stands out on this list is D. Alford. I like D a lot. He is a baller corner. And I think that scheme fit with Joe Brady and his team up there in Buffalo is going to work out wonderfully for them. So I think they did well, and they got names in places where they needed them.
Absolutely, man. Partner, do you want to take us through the Miami Dolphins? I know that you said this is a pretty good set here. We won't give away your number just yet, but walk us through them, man.
It is a very good set. We like what the Miami Dolphins have done this offseason. A couple of big things. We'll start right at the top. Quarterback Malik Willis, 3 years, $67.5 million deal, $45 million completely guaranteed. Uh, we're not going to get into all the bonuses and roster bonuses and stuff like that. That's all available for you anywhere that you can even remotely see NFL statistics.
There's a lot. It's a lot.
There's a lot. There's a
There's a
lot
lot.
of like a $2 million roster bonus, 28 or $20.5 million salary. Like it's too many numbers. We don't want to overload you with numbers. He's getting 3 years, $67.5 million, $45 million fully guaranteed. Which to me, in his time with both the Tennessee Titans and the Green Bay Packers, has set himself up to be a star NFL quarterback. And I trust in the way that he is developed. I think that he will continue to develop. And I think we are going to see a difference at quarterback finally past the 2 years in Miami. And to help him along with that are wide receivers Tutu Atwell, who I thought would be a really, really good fit in Washington. I've alluded to that a couple of times. And Jalen Tolbert. Now, obviously, they've taken away from certain pieces of the offense with trading Jalen Waddle to the Denver Broncos. These guys are capable guys of having production for Malik Willis. Greg Dulcich re-signing. That's a 1 year deal. They signed tight end Ben Sims. No relation. They've also shored up the tackle positions as far as depth goes. Jeremy Sawyer signing on a 1 year deal. Charlie Heck also signing down there. They've and this is the important part for me because the Dolphins defense has not been stellar for the past couple of years. So
I agree.
going out and getting all of these defensive pieces and the names that are on this list are pretty good names. David Ojabo, that's a really, really good signing at the edge position. Josh Uche, I think, is a perfect replacement for Bradley Chubb. Um, Proven guy who can produce. Matthew Butler in the interior of that defensive line, staying there in Miami, as is Willie Gay Jr., staying in Miami with the Dolphins. Going outside into the secondary and getting a couple of good pieces in Marco Wilson and Zane Anderson, as well as Ronnie Harrison. Those guys are going to make a difference on this defense. Lonnie Johnson also will make a difference on this defense. He can play big nickel, he can play free safety, he can play down on the line. Um, he's a very versatile defensive back that I think is going to make a world of difference in a lot of key situations. Don't be surprised if you see him a lot in between the 40s. Like he's very very good at patrolling in between the 40s. Like you'll see him a lot in midfield situations, and don't be surprised if you see him playing like a small linebacker down at the goal line. You'll see that as well. They went out and got kicker Zane Gonzalez. They have retained kicker Riley Patterson. We like good kicking competition going into the offseason. That's the purpose of these moves. And they signed punter Bradley Pinion. I personally like a lot of what the Dolphins have done. I think that they're going to need a strong draft class to really compete in what is very fastly shaping up to be a strong AFC East. But these are all really good steps in the right direction. So we will see how it goes, but I like these moves. How do you feel about them, partner?
Well, partner, I'm gonna actually directly contradict with you. I do not, and here's why. Great names, big names, fantastic names, whatever. My problem, and I've spoke about this quite a bit, is all of these names, or the majority of these names on that defense, and a couple in the offense as well, are signing 1 year deals. And we've talked about this. I don't like feeling like a team is signing a bunch of people for one good push, I should say, and then it is what it is. But now I know there is a caveat to that. Now there might be a bunch of prove it deals like, hey, if you do good, you can stay, whatever. But again, looking at things, judging a book by its cover, it does look like they are just signing a bunch of names um, to 1 year deals and hoping that it goes well. Now, I don't know what they're thinking personally in that GM office, but and I understand that you have to sign some 1 year deals, but this, I mean, the last, what is that? We're gonna say 10, 12 people that they signed, that you read off, are all 1 year deals, free agent deals. There's a couple of re-signings, and to me, again, it just looks like they're trying to make a good push or have one good season. Um, but again, there's two sides to the coin. They could be waiting for next season in hopes that better people roll out, or they could be waiting for them to get a kind of prove themselves to give them good deals. But again, it's just my thoughts as a fan, my thoughts as a Madden GM, um, and that's just how I see it. You know, but if you
A,
can
a,
get talent for a year and cheap, I guess go for it. But me personally, I wouldn't sign 12 people to a 1 year deal.
Allow me to help you understand why there are so many 1 year deals with the Miami Dolphins. And
Listening.
that is Tua Tagovailoa. Reminder that they paid Tua a ton of money in his contract extension for him to not work out for them. They have to eat all of that dead money in order to move on from Tua.
Right.
So you may see, and I know that new head coach Jeff Hafley has a way of making things happen. Look at what he did with the Packers defense. He is an anomaly. He is going to make it work. But what really stands out to me is that he has talent that he can immediately work with.
Right.
If they have a really good draft class, then let us not forget this. In 2023, the Washington Commanders were hot ass.
Yeah, that's true.
As a fan, like you can see it over my shoulder. I love I love my burgundy and gold, but they were bad.
Very place.
And there was a lot of 1 year deals. General manager Adam Peters coming in signing a bunch of 1 year deals, had a stellar draft class, and they were one game away from the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I am not saying that that is what's going to happen for the Miami Dolphins. I'm just saying that they got a new head coach. They've got a new quarterback. They've replenished places where they've lost players, and they've had to work around some cap issues.
Right.
And it
But
feels very 2023 into 2024 for Washington for me. So I'm not counting it out.
but I'm
Is it
gonna I'm gonna
sustainable?
contradict you.
No. Is it sustainable? Hold on a second, Cowboy. You'll get your turn. Is it sustainable as an organization? No, it is not. They're going to have to next year, later this year. They're going to have to continue to sign some of these guys to longer term deals. They're going to have to get names in there. They're going to have to get guys that can prove it. But if you look at the cap money situation and you look at where they are as an organization, these 1 year deals have to make sense because that is what they were afforded.
Absolutely, and I agree with you on that front. But here's my thing, and as far as it's their only option, then that makes sense. But going back to the look what Washington did, it didn't work 2 years in a row. Nothing changed. Still had Jaden Daniels, still had the people from the awesome draft class, and kept a lot of the guys that we had that season, and got rid of a lot of guys we had that season as well in the 2024 season. And 2025, just like 2023, we were hot ass. We did not play very well. Defense was awful, which we can argue that was whose fault that was. Same with the offense. I mean, I would I don't want to blame Cliff Kingsbury, but Cliff Kingsbury. Um, and the same with defense. I don't think that I can't even think of the guy's name, but I just don't think that he did his best on that defense. And part of that can also be blamed on head coach Dan Quinn because he is a defensive minded man. And as a fan watching the TV, when you lined us up in zone, it doesn't work. And it didn't all season long. And I don't know what in the hell they thought was going to happen if you continue to do something that doesn't work. It's not just going to magically start working. Now there's circumstances and plays that you have to eventually start doing some zone. You don't want to have man the entire time, but we played better in man and we hardly played man. So, anyway, I'm done with my rant, but to me, I just don't want to see them be one game away from the Super Bowl, which again they have a much harder path um, now because of A, who's in their division, and B, just the simple fact that who's in that conference. So our last game was the Eagles, whereas theirs could be the Chiefs or um, I don't think you can play the yeah well yeah. So their last game could be the Patriots, the Bills. I mean, any number of combinations. A revised Ravens team. I mean, you name it, and it can be that. But I don't know, man. My biggest thing is I just don't want to see them be one game away, and then the following year fall back to hot ass. Um, and speaking on the Dolphins. So, but like you said, it is kind of their circumstance right now, and maybe next year they again I don't know the age of these men. I have no idea, but again, just judging a book by its cover, I just don't want to see that to happen to them. And again, like you said, they might have to. This is circumstance purely for them right now, and maybe next year they give these guys some good deals and they lock them down for longer after moving fully past Tua. Um, but guys, I'm done with my rant. I apologize for ranting for 10 minutes. um,
He only
but
gets a little off topic whenever he's passionate about football.
just a little bit, just a little bit. Moving on to the Super Bowl runner-ups in the New England Patriots. Um, we're going to start right off with the offensive line. Uh, they signed Elijah Vera Tucker to a 3-year, $42 million deal with 21 guaranteed. Fullback Reggie Gilliam with another 3-year deal worth up to $12 million. 6 million is guaranteed and 4.4 million in year one. And here's their big signing, I think. But their splash signing, I guess you could say. Romeo Dobbs signed a 4-year, $70 million contract, who Washington was heavily chasing. Um, Unfortunately, he just liked going to the Patriots more. Maybe I think they offered him a little bit more than we did. Tight end Julian Hill signed with the Patriots. Offensive lineman James Hudson signed a 1-year deal. And then another big signing for them, defensive lineman Draymond Jones signed a 3-year, $39.5 million. That will pay him $14.5 million in year one, and then the rest over that time. Linebacker KJ Britt signed with the Patriots along with Kendall Vilder, sorry, cornerback, and then they got safety Kevin Byard signed a 1-year, $9 million deal. Not much going on in up in New England, and but they fixed a lot of places that they needed to fix. If you guys watched that Super Bowl game, that the defense did fairly well for a short period of time, and I think this helps them out a lot. Signing Romeo Dobbs definitely gives Drake May another weapon to use. Signing Elijah Vera Tucker and James Hudson to with them will help protect him. Every play we've seen him running around, but again, that Seahawks defense is a menace. So, anyhow, partner, what do you think? What do you think about these signings? I personally think they went out and got who they needed.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Um, to me, they've performed extremely well with their free agent activity, especially given how limited it is. You get guys like Elijah Vera Tucker and Romeo Dobbs and Draymond Jones and Kevin Byard, which Kevin Byard I think is the underrated signing here, an absolute stud in his time in Chicago. Um, and $9 million for a guy of his caliber for his services, even if it is for 1 year, is a really, really good thing. And I think that they are in a position to leverage a Kevin Byard for 1 year based on how close they were to hoisting a seventh Super Bowl trophy up there in New England just last year. I won't go too deep into it. I feel like they are going to make another addition via the trade market. AJ Brown, pack your bags. But this is a stellar, this is a stellar free agent class, given that there are only 9 names on the list. Again, Elijah Vera Tucker, absolutely huge. Interior offensive line was a need, and you go out and you get Vera Tucker, who is going to help shore up. And he can play both guard positions. He can play both tackle positions. He's even been known to play center in a pinch. That means the world whenever it comes to keeping Drake May upright. Now, is Drake May one of the best roll and throw quarterbacks in the NFL? Absolutely. But you would like to see him make most of his throws from the pocket, like he has for the vast majority of the time that he's been playing football. And when he does, he is almost unstoppable. Very cerebral, very Tom Brady esque, very Peyton Manning, very Eli Manning, very stoic in the pocket, who can deliver absolute laser beam strikes. And Elijah Vera Tucker goes a long way in that. Obviously, Romeo Dobbs at wide receiver is a huge piece to this puzzle. And I think that he is an instant starter. You don't pay a guy $70 million for depth. As a matter of fact, I think even if they were to acquire AJ Brown, Romeo Dobbs is wide receiver one.
Absolutely. Well, partner, I know that I know this one's been burning a hole in your pocket, so to speak. Take us through the New York Jets.
Brother, the Jets, Jets had an off season. They did some trading away, but they have also done a ton of adding. Ton. And I think that this is what landed them in my top five. Part of this is, if you remember during legal tampering, they were in my top five. After legal tampering, this is a large reason why. We're going to start out right at the top. Geno Smith, who is drafted to the New York Jets in the 2013 NFL Draft out of West Virginia University. Our guy Geno is back, and you love to see it. And I think that the organization, Geno himself, and the roster are in a much healthier place than when he was there for his first stint with the team. They franchise tagged Brees Hall, which I think is a huge step in the right direction. I think they want to get him under contract long term. It's probably going to take some convincing. I don't feel like they're super close at the moment, but time can and will prove to be the catalyst here. I think they end up with Brees Hall for a long time under contract. Uh, let's see here. Who else do we have? Fuck, it scrolled on me. I'll edit that out. This one's 18 plus. Uh, Kine Nwangwu. There we are. There we are. He has re-signed a $2 million deal, shoring up that running back room. We love to see that. Andrew Beck also re-signing at fullback. Jelani Woods also re-signing at tight end. Chuck Okafor re-signing at tackle. Uh, Dylan Parham coming in. This is a really good deal for Dylan Parham services. I think he performed more than $20 million over 2 years. I I thought this was a really good deal by the Jets front office. I like it. They are retaining Max Mitchell, a really good flex right side offensive lineman. I think you can see him play all three positions from center over to right tackle. That, especially as injured as they were last year, that makes a world of difference. Kingsley and Enigbare, that's a huge addition on the edge, as well as Joseph Osai. That to me is also an underpay. I thought Joseph was going to fetch somewhere in the 45 or $50 million uh, range. Getting him for 3 years, $36 million. That's really really nice to see. He gets handily paid, and they get an upgrade at edge rusher. Now this next one is via trade with the Tennessee Titans, where they sent edge rusher Jermaine Johnson II to Tennessee for Tavondre Sweat. That was just player for player trade. I think this makes a world of difference for both teams, but I think Tavondre Sweat on the inside of that defensive line is going to eat up blocks and let those edge rushers go to work. I loved his work in Tennessee. I think he was fantastic for him to move to East Rutherford, and he's going to be wreaking havoc in the Kelly Green and White. It's going to be really really good. Demario Davis, longtime Saints middle linebacker, signing a 2 year, $22 million deal to play in the Big Apple. Awesome for him. Awesome for them. Like their linebacker play is going to take a leap forward, even if it's not directly through Demario Davis, which it will be because he's still a dog. Michael Walker staying with the team. This is a huge piece. We're getting into the huge pieces here because their secondary was not good after they traded Sauce Gardner to the Indianapolis Colts last year. Nishan Wright is going to make a difference. Played absolutely stellar with the Bears last season and the season before that. Like he was a very good piece for that Chicago Bears defense. Dane Belton, a safety signing with the team. That's going to be huge. Andre Cisco staying in New York. I like this move a lot. I like Andre Cisco a lot as a safety. He can fly around. He's not afraid to be where the ball is either. He's not afraid to tackle, and I think that makes a world of difference. And Minka Fitzpatrick being acquired in a trade with the Dolphins, I think they got a really really good deal on him. Like a seventh round pick, and you only had to pay him $40 million on an extension over 3 years. That's a really really good deal for a guy of Minka Fitzpatrick's caliber. And finally, closing off this free agency edition, Cade York signing to play kicker for the New York Jets. I like Cade as a kicker. I think he's accurate. He's got the mid 50s leg, and he's pretty reliable. So, what do you think about the New York Jets free agency class?
I like it. It is arguably one of the top ones. I mean, I think in the top three, you got Jets, Commanders, and Titans, all in one whack. I think those are the top three teams that have done the most in the offseason this year. And not to take away from any other team, but they just they went out and just started signing people who could do it, make an instant impact in their organization. So, Geno Smith acquired in a trade. I mean that's not an awful thing. I personally like Geno. Go WVU. So, but I think that long term they're going to have to start looking for a new quarterback. Um, I don't think Geno is the guy, but I do think that he'll be fine this year. I would look for someone like possibly Arch Manning next year, um, if he does declare the draft next year. And then you have Brees Hall, wonderful. They locked him down, and like you said, I think he'll end up getting a long-term deal. Um, Dylan Parman, wonderful lockdown. Gotta have that offensive line to keep Geno a little bit more protected. You got edge rusher Joseph Osai, also a wonderful, wonderful deal. 3 years, $36 million. I thought he played a little bit better than that. I was thinking more like the $40 million range, but hey, that front office they know what they're doing. They got a good deal out of it, um, and a great player. Demario Davis. Here's my question. He moved up from the Saints, who didn't play the greatest last year. They were fourth in their division, and then also I think they were fourth, uh, and also moved to a team who was also fourth last year, and he's not getting any younger. So is he chasing a bowl or a bag? Is my thing. Does he want a ring? Uh, does he want to go to the Super Bowl? Or does he really want just the money? Um, Time will tell. Maybe this will be a contending team. I personally just don't think it'll be this year. And then the plethora of other defensive signings is also a great addition. Minka Fitzpatrick, I think it was Madden 22 where you and I had 90 some overall teams, and Minka Fitzpatrick is a great addition. Now, granted, it is 5 years later, and I know he's aged, but I'm sure his production has slowed down a little bit, or the Dolphins wouldn't have traded him. So overall, number one in my list of um, free agencies for this division in the AFC. They have number one for me. Number two is the Dolphins. Number three, the Bills, and number four, the Patriots. I think they're going to do well. I really do.
I agree. I agree. I will rate this division as one Jets. You don't make my top five and not end up number one in your division. It's just the way it is.
Yep.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Uh, Here's the big thing. I want to put the Patriots at number two because, albeit only 9 signings, they signed guys who are going to step into that building and make an immediate impact for the Super Bowl runner-ups.
Love it.
I
Love the
will
debate.
I will level the Dolphins at three and
Oof.
the Bills at four. And it's not for a lack of names, it's just for addressing need. Now, I don't think that the need was quite as high for the Bills, but the needs that they did have, they made lateral moves. I don't think they got better at particular positions where they lost guys. That's the whole thought process behind it. So, Jets, Patriots, Dolphins, Bills for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And do you mind if we do a new segment presented by Aspire called
Let's do it.
"Too Early to Tell"?
Let's do it. Aspire Energy presents Too Early to Tell here on Off the Bench with Scotty and Corey.
Absolutely. So here's my too early to tell rankings as far as this division goes. I think that the Patriots end up at the top one again. That team is stout. They know what they're doing over there, and you don't become the Super Bowl runner-up and not make another run towards it. Um, I think the Bills come in second again. Uh, that's just another stout team over there, especially um, with getting DJ Moore and shoring up Dawson Knox. I think again they end up with number two. And then here's my number three. I think that the Jets move up and have the third, with the Dolphins ending in fourth. Now, I don't think there's going to be a single losing record. I think that the Dolphins at four, and this is a maybe here, might end 9-8. Um, that's where I think that they will end. personally, they have gotten a lot of great pieces. Malik Willis, Tutu Atwell, Greg Dulcich, Ben Sims, again no relation, and then that defense they have signed half of everybody, and I think at least for this season they will make that stand. Or that was the Dolphins, but I think that they will make a good stand there for them, and then I think that, like I said, I think the Jets end in third, and then the Dolphins in fourth. While Miami done really great there, I just think that the Jets did more. I think that the Jets again will come out ahead of the Dolphins and end in third.
Yes. And you guys, would you believe me if I told you that we are in full agreement with my Too Early to Tell presented by Aspire Energy? I have in this order the New England Patriots, the Buffalo Bills, the New York Jets, and Miami Dolphins for the division rankings at the end of the 2026-2027 season. For all the same reasons. I feel like the Dolphins did well, but the Jets did incredible.
Well,
I They did mo better, as one
Mo
of the
better.
fellas that I work with says. They did mo better, and I like it. I like it. So Patriots, Bills. That's going to be the battle at the top of the division. Don't be surprised if that comes down to a Week 18 game between the Patriots and the Bills. Do not be surprised at that at all. Um, but Patriots, Bills, Jets, Dolphins for myself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, big thank you to Aspire Energy for sponsoring this episode. Again, guys, aspiredrinks.com/discount/OTB25 to get your own and continue to support this podcast. Well, partner, it's come to that dreadful time at the end of every episode. It's time to do farewells. Partner, you'll take us out of here.
Yeah, I've got it today. I've got it today. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all of our listeners, not just here, but abroad. All of you guys are fantastic for tuning in and keeping this thing going. And a huge thank you to our partner, Aspire Drinks. Thank you to them for taking a chance on us once again. And thank you for you guys for supporting Aspire as well. And finally, last but not least, thank you to you, partner, for coming here and butting heads with me over football like we have since we were kids. It's always incredible that we get to sit down and do this, man. It's always incredible. Do you have
Absolutely.
any final words before we get out of here?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Partner, thank you again for having me. It is a lovely time every time. As always, it's a great day to be a football fan. Again, go follow the socials. Make sure you're following that YouTube. Again, not set in stone just yet. We will have the sureties by the time that the NFL draft comes around. Um, so go to our YouTube page. It is Off the Bench with Scotty and Corey, as is all of our social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, uh, um, Twitter, the whole nine. I think I said Facebook already, and then YouTube as well. It's Off the Bench with Scotty and Corey. We upload the shorts there. We upload uh, the full video version of the podcast where you can see us talk. You can see the backgrounds. If we're showing something, you may see that too. Especially that is a good thing to have with the mock drafts we do, or if we're talking about something in general that we might be interacting with our area. So again, go subscribe to the YouTube and click the bell so that way if we do end up doing the NFL draft, you guys can be here with us and hear all the news as soon as we hear it. So again, thank you guys so much for the show and just listening, and not only here in the U.S. but we have made it across the pond, and we cannot thank you guys. Uh, we can't be more thankful. We can't thank you guys enough for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. You guys are amazing, partner. You're awesome. Look forward to Tuesday where we will wrap up this year's edition of divisional breakdowns. As always, you guys, I'm Scotty. That's our awesome co-host over there, Corey. Thank you guys for tuning in to Off the Bench, and we will see you guys next time.